If there is one thing that experience has taught me, it is this: the more self-aware we are, the better we are in the relationships at work and at home. Today, I want to explore a decoder that will help us understand both our behavior and other people's behavior. Today, we're going to explore the question, what is the DISC assessment? The DISC assessment is one of the oldest assessments in the world today, and it is one of the most popular. Every year, millions upon millions of people take this assessment. And the advantages of this assessment are that it offers us a simple language to understand our behavior and other people's behavior. So today, let's explore the DISC assessment and the 4 DISC styles. And hopefully at the end of this video, you'll be able to say, this is my style. As I said, DISC is one of the most popular assessments in the world today. And of course, DISC gets its name from the 4 behavioral styles that it points to. And here you can see it graphically expressed as in D, I, S, C. And each one of these styles tell us and give us a picture about behaviors of a certain personality style. So today we're going to explore each one of these styles, and hopefully you'll get insights for you to be able to say, you know what? I think I'm an I, or nope, I'm definitely a C, or perhaps, you know what? My spouse or my coworker, they're an S. So the first style is the D style. So what is it we can begin to notice about the D style? Well, the D style loves action. The D style likes to get things done. The D style is very much fixated on results. They tend to be very result-oriented people. And they don't like to waste time. They like to get to the point and get into it immediately. So they don't like small talk. They don't like wasting time on certain things. And so accomplishment becomes very important to D. How D measures success is, did I get it done? And how quickly did I get it done? And so therefore, forward momentum is very important for the D style. A D style also has an ability to speak up about problems. They really don't have a problem with conflict and are willing to go to places where other people, out of fear of conflict, will not go. A D will always speak up. Now, there is a cost to this, and part of the cost is that sometimes they can be misunderstood. And part of that misunderstanding is that Ds can be seen as overly aggressive. That Ds, because of their push for results, can be seen as people who at times can railroad over others. Now, part of it isn't that they don't want to listen to other people. It's their fear that things will be slowed down because progress becomes so important and getting things done is most important. So Ds, of course, have to be aware of this tension, their internal tension of wanting to get things done, and also the importance of slowing down and listen to other people, even at the cost, perhaps, of the speed of the project. So if you want to relate better to a D, how can you do it? Well, understand that their desire for speed and to get things done is very important. So Ds normally don't like a lot of small talk. They want to get to the issue and they want to move on quickly. Also be precise. Ds do not want to know all the details. Rather, they want to know the highlights so that they can move on to the next point. And so if we are talking to a D, realize that they are not looking for the minutiae, they're looking for the highlights, they're looking to get to the point and to get things moving. The second style we'll move on to is the I. Now, the I style is the one that shows the most enthusiasm. They are people. They love getting together with others. They generate a lot of enthusiasm in their meetings, and part of that enthusiasm is something that they're able to use to bring people together and to get momentum. Because just like the Ds, Is also like fast action. Is love the big picture. They, like the Ds, are not into the minutiae. And in fact, Is can be bored by the minutiae. but they're wonderful at seeing different connections, the big picture connections. And so they're best used for big picture thinking. Now, sometimes eyes can be misunderstood because part of this enthusiasm, part of this paying attention and networking with others can be seen by others as wasting time or really not getting to work. But the eyes would say, no, this is part of the way we operate. By generating this excitement, we're able to generate forward momentum and we're able to bring people together to get the work done. How can you better relate to an eye if you're another style? Well, just a few points here. One is be prepared to share something personal. Eyes love personal connections and relationships. It's part and parcel. Just as a D doesn't want to get into that, wants to get started right away, an eye feels that they have to have some form of connection with the person to get moving. You don't have to go into the minutiae with an eye, but rather be careful to give the big picture. Show them how this connects to others. And then also with an eye, realize that they get bored very quickly. They love starts, they love starting new things, they love shiny objects, but they may have difficulty following through. And so when working with an eye, just provide support, especially in a project that is longer term. The third style is the S style. Now, you will notice the S style because the S is someone who shows up very calm. The S is the team player. Indeed, I always find that in a meeting, that if you ask an S after the meeting who spoke and who did not, they will know. They're able to read the room very clearly. They're also enjoy stability, and they also enjoy environments where there is peace, where there is calm. That's when they do their best work. But then also realize that the opposite of that is true. That at times they find change very difficult because they love the stability of an environment that is calm and that also supports people. And if that changes or risks being changed, they may be very avoided in that situation. And so if you're working with an S, just be aware that if you need to announce a lot of change, that is not going to be well received. Also realize that they appreciate environments where there is calm. Not that conflict can't happen or conflict is not important, but if conflict and raising your voice is the only way that people are heard, then S's are not going to thrive in that situation. Now, if you're enjoying the content of today's video, I invite you to subscribe and to press the bell to my video channel. Every week I come out with a video which explores different elements of emotional intelligence, and the primary aim is that I can help you be more emotionally intelligent both at work and at home. So subscribe, press the bell, and make sure that you don't miss the next video. Our final style is the C style. Now, what denotes a C is accuracy. So C's like lots of data. They like things to be in order, and they like to be accurate about things. They like to make sure that when they do things, they do it correctly. And they do it correctly the first time. And so therefore, what you'll find is that C's tend to ask a lot of questions. Now, sometimes this can get them in trouble. Sometimes, as you can imagine, that those questions are going to frustrate a D. They're going to frustrate a D because they find those questions are slowing things down. They're going to bore an I because they find that those questions are really going into too much detail. But really what a C is attempting by those questions is to have clarity and also enough data that they can make a good decision. Enough data that they feel that they can move ahead by getting things right. Now, if you want to work better with a C, here is something that's incredibly important. Come prepared. Because a C is going to ask you questions. A C wants to know in depth about everything that is happening. And so if you've not prepared for the meeting, if you don't know enough detail, that is going to frustrate a C, and it's also going to make them think that you're really not prepared, and really they should be nervous or anxious about doing work with you. Also, C's tend to prefer to work alone. They tend to prefer atmospheres that are not overly enthusiastic or personal. So respect that. Respect the fact that very often they tend to like to work alone, and respect that they don't want to get into the personal nature, but rather they want to really focus on the work at hand. So today we've just very briefly explored the 4 disc styles, D-I-S-C, and hopefully you've had enough information to perhaps think about which style you might be and recognize some of the behaviors in other people. Now, obviously, there is so much more you can learn about each of these styles, and this video is only able to break the surface with that. If you would like to get your full disc report and also go in depth into how you show up in your style and how other people's relate to you and how you can adjust your behaviors to better relate to others, there's a link below which will take you to an opportunity to sign up to have that full disc analysis and also to have a recording which will take you through each page of the report and help you understand much more in depth about your disc style. There's also a discount code there which you can use to reduce the price of that assessment. If you've enjoyed the video today, I invite you to click on the next video which will explore how you yourself can add the disc assessment into the suite of tools that you offer in your business.